You're listening to the John and Heidi Show, now featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris. Good Monday to you, sir. How are you?
Hey, right back at you. It's President's Day.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, the school kids are running amok today out there. Just they're free range.
And everything on sale. So President's Day sale.
Crazy president. I have never, and I probably
makes no sense.
Never in my broadcast career really. It's like, okay, it's President's Day, and I'm saving on a lazy boy. Why?
Yeah, exactly.
Buy a car. Why? Because it's President's Day.
And it's a mattress blowout sale.
Yeah, and it's like the same things. It's always mattresses,
yes,
cars,
yes.
and furniture.
Same industry's doing the same things.
Yeah.
I don't.
You never see like a President's Day sale on braces.
Fantastic. Braces.
Yeah, he had wooden teeth. Wouldn't you like straight teeth?
And to balance that out, it also happens to be National Love Your Pet Day.
Oh, every day is Love Your Pet Day.
Although our
It
pet
sure
is here
is.
right now, and she's trying to make some noise. Did you hear that?
Yeah. I love it when you guys let her in the studio
It's the best.
because she's so well behaved.
She's never well behaved.
Never.
Usually chewing on something or barking at someone.
We had birthdays coming down the line today. Kurt Cobain, frontman for Nirvana, of course, he would have been 56 today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Cindy Crawford is 57.
Still beautiful.
Still, yeah. She's got her own line of whatever, cosmetics or skincare.
Skincare,
something.
cosmetics,
See her on infomercials every now and again.
I got some of that. I smeared it all over my face, and I still look like me.
You look nothing like Cindy.
I know.
By the way.
You know who does, though? Is that Caitlyn Jenner. She must use that cream.
Looks a little bit like Cindy when you bring it up.
It does,
A little bit.
She must use that cream.
You know, Bruce is kind of hot for an older woman
I'm just saying.
or whatever.
Not into that kind of thing, but if I
For
were...
an older
I'm just
whatever.
saying.
Whatever. I'd take Bruce to the movies.
I'd pay to see that.
I would. Yeah. He'd have to find his own way home, but.
Oh.
And
Let's be quiet over here now.
she just rattled everybody's cages. Performed at the Super Bowl last Sunday. Rihanna is 35 today. That was the puffiest halftime show
bizarre.
ever. It was just
so
puffy.
Bizarre.
I didn't watch the thing. I just saw the clips online. I skipped the entire game.
It was
and I
super,
went online to
super
watch
puffy.
the ads.
Actually, her middle name is Rihanna. Her birth name is Robin Rihanna Fenty.
Robin
nice.
Rihanna.
That's nice. Pretty
That's
name.
middle name. Huge hits over the years. Make no mistake. Did you know, in fact, that she happens to be the wealthiest female music star in the world?
I had
Even
no
more so
idea.
than Mariah Carey?
Rihanna has a net worth of about $1.7 billion.
Holy
dollars.
Whoa.
Not making that up.
She could have afforded a better dress then.
She's a pretty good businesswoman.
That's a weird dress, I thought.
Hey, you got to pay for puffiness.
Yeah, I suppose.
You do. It's like Disturbia, Don't Stop the Music, Love the Way You Lie.
Yeah.
And this was actually part of her 13-song breakdown at the halftime for Super Bowl 57. 2007 hit Umbrella.
Oh, yeah.
It's heavy.
yes.
It's deep.
It is deep.
She has actually said, and I quote, she has had to stop recording at times because she's crying because the lyrics are just so
What?
deep.
Yes, she did. I said this to Dan. It
Yeah.
made me laugh.
Yeah.
The lyrics to Umbrella?
No,
any
to all
song that she
kinds of
does.
songs
I
that
mean,
she does.
She's
She has
an
to
artist,
take
John.
breaks and
Yeah.
Umbrella.
and pull tissues. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can stand under my umbrella, Ella, A, under my umbrella, Ella, A, under my umbrella, Ella, A, under my umbrella, Ella, A.
You should have warned us,
I
Dan.
need a minute.
Oh, man. I'm verklempt.
It's so touching.
It is. I'm sorry.
All right, nervous breakdowns all the way around. It was 1792. We were just kids, John and Heidi.
Yeah?
U.S. Postal Service,
Okay.
with the sweep of George Washington's pen, signed the act actually launching the U.S. Postal Service.
No. Today?
1792, this very day.
Ooh. And look what they've done with it.
And they get the day off today, which is nice.
Yes, they do.
It's fantastic. It was 1907. Another president, Theodore Roosevelt. This is no kidding. This is how we used to act horrible country. President Theodore Roosevelt signs a new immigration act that excludes, quote, this is documented, idiots, imbeciles, feeble-minded persons.
How did my ancestors make it?
Epileptics. And insane persons.
Wow.
From being admitted into the United States.
I know several family lines that really surprised me that they made it.
Yeah, he actually wrote that down. Said, this is
Somebody
what
jot
we're
this
doing. 2016, it was kind of a big deal. A 4-inch lock of Beatle John Lennon's hair goes up for auction in Dallas, Texas.
I remember this.
So it's 4-inch lock of John Lennon's hair. What do you think the winning bid was?
I put a bid on it.
10
Heidi
grand.
was mad. I bid $8.
Was a pretty big fan of Beatles memorabilia. Somebody ponied up $35,000.
Holy cow.
Yep, yeah. 35 grand.
I knew I got outbid at $8.
There you go.
And how do they know for sure it's his?
It's documented, Heidi.
I mean,
there's a picture
I could cut off pieces of my hair
you
and
could,
sell it.
but there has to be prominence with that stuff. I mean, they have to be able to prove it.
We should try to sell a lock of Heidi. I know somebody who would bid on it.
I do too.
What's the worst that can happen?
At least $500 going for it right off the bat.
I knew a guy that would wear Heidi's skin. It's pretty creepy, actually.
Maybe the same person. You never know.
But if we can turn it around into a couple bucks, why not?
It's for charity. So you'll get murdered on this meeting. Who cares?
All right. Well, I know, we all know. We just forge ahead here.
Going to do that. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Do you ever get credit card offers in the mail? Those are usually the worst offers. They spend thousands of dollars mailing them to anyone with an address. The people who actually read their junk mail end up paying the price in the long run. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a credit card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. bettercreditcards.com.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Super excited to visit with Chris Tonto Paronto. He's going to be in Sioux Falls coming real soon. Chris, how you doing, sir?
Good. Actually, I'm doing well. You're taking us from a break. I tore my quadricep tendon and quad muscle a little while back, so I was in the middle of therapy. So honestly, it was a nice break. Nice. Therapy's not fun. Not fun. Knee repairs are not fun.
Well, we've had you in Sioux Falls in the past. You do a phenomenal job. And I remember last time you were here, I think the book had come out not too far before that. And I think the movie had just come out, 13 hours of the book. And then the movie had come out. Now you're back and going to be speaking here. And I'm looking at the calendar, Friday, March 3rd. It's sneaking right up. And if people want to get tickets, I'll tell them how to do that here in a minute. But what are we going to be talking about at the event that's coming up in Sioux Falls?
It'll be a little different than the one back then. I'll tell you what, back then it was I was a little angrier, to tell you the truth. It was still relatively new what had happened. And I think I had some reason to be, but I've let a lot of that go. And with the help of God, of course, I have. So God will definitely be part of the speech. I think God needs to be talked about more in speeches in public. And so faith, speech, overcoming adversity, and continuing to honor Tyrone Woods, my two teammates, Tyrone Woods and Glenn Doherty, and of course Ambassador Stevens and Sean Smith. But of course Glenn and Ty, especially since they sacrificed everything so I could come home. And I think that still needs to be talked about, until the day I pass away, and then hopefully the next generation carries it forward.
Absolutely. Now, the talk this time is Crucible of Crisis, Values in Action, Resiliency in the Face of Adversity. And that is a pretty deep topic to talk about. And I see we got a little bit of time to chat about it that night. But how in the world do you boil it down and get all of this into a talk?
A lot of practice. Yeah. a lot of trial and error. But military, that's what we do. You try away, and if it doesn't work, you review. AR is what we call it. You AR yourself, or you review. You go over what you did wrong, right, and you fix it until it fine tunes it, and that's how you do it. And I think anything, just being a speaker, at least in my opinion, like anything else, is if you want to be a good one or good at anything, you have to practice.
Oh yeah, and
that is something in the generation. Maybe the generation right now doesn't understand as well as they probably should, but hard work definitely pays off, and it pays off for anything. And if you want to be good at anything, you have to work at it. So that's how it's been done. It's just a lot of repetition of me, and also just going through the speech in my head, and then also a little bit of trial and error, try things at different places and what works and what doesn't, as far as talk, when you lose people, when you don't, and then fine tune it until until it becomes a very fluid speech. And that's something that, as a public speaker, you have to do that to make sure that, of course, you're resonating with the crowd in front of you, and at least they're getting something out of it. I definitely do. It's very therapeutic for me to talk about it. So I'm getting something out of it on a selfish level, but I want to make sure those there get something out of it, and that's really dealing with adversity and giving examples of what I've had to go through, not just Benghazi, but prior to that, of how I built up that ability to overcome adversity, and that's what you have to do definitely just to become a Ranger, just to go through Ranger school and everything else. So it is. It's just something that's trial and error. But then when it comes right down to it, the presentation has to be something that people can interact with, they can feel, and they can go, wait a second, I've been through that before. Maybe not combat, but something of adversity that I've gone through that. I know how I can overcome it now, and getting through an obstacle that may be hindering them at this moment in time or something down the road. It's got to stay positive. And that's one thing with the speech has changed quite a bit, is that I don't get into negatives too much anymore. It's about being positive, overcoming adversity, and letting God take the wheel when you're having those problems that you can't get through.
I love that. And that is something that is important, because it's pretty easy to get kind of negative and down. And right now, more than ever, boy, we just need to think of the positives and find a positive solution to some of the things that people are going through. Because, again, you could be very angry all day long easily. Just turn on the news. They'll tell you everything you want to be angry about.
Yes, sir. That's another thing, John. I don't watch the news anymore. That's why you don't see me. Not that they don't ask. They do, the mainstream media and the big media networks. But I don't anymore, because that's what I saw. And I facilitated some of that. So I was even doing my own ARs on myself back in the day. And saying, am I bringing something positive to the table, or am I really just getting out there and being angry and sensationalizing things and making this big story to just how angry I am? Or am I making something positive about it? And also remembering Tyrone and Glenn and honoring them. Being angry doesn't honor them. Telling about their life and telling how they gave of themselves, the sacrifice of themselves. John 15:13 is a great verse for that. But how they sacrificed themselves and gave of themselves so others could live. Even though if there's some negative, of course, they lost their lives. But in state, it is positive, because that is what sacrificing God wants us to do, is to give for others. And that's what they did. And that's what the speech really goes that direction now, more so than the angry direction that it used to go.
Well, I am super excited. We're planning on being there. It's Friday, March 3rd. It is at a place in Sioux Falls it's hosted by the VFW, Post 628, and Auxiliary, and it's at a place in Sioux Falls called the South Dakota Military Heritage Alliance on Russell. And I'm going to throw a link so you can find it. And on that link, you'll be able to click and buy tickets as well. Chris, thank you. I look forward to seeing you here real soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me again, and God bless you, John. Have a great week, and your weekend coming up as well.
Absolutely. Again, Chris Tonto Paronto in Sioux Falls, Friday, March 3rd. All of the details at facebook.com/sunnyradio and facebook.com/Sioux Falls News.
If your plan for the new year involves getting your financial life in order, I suggest you start with your mobile phone bill. How much do you pay every month? If that number is more than $15, it's time for a Mintervention. Mint Mobile makes it affordable and easy to switch. Get a new phone or bring your current phone. At Mintervention.com, you can see the current special offers from Mint Mobile, offering premium wireless for just $15 a month. That's far less than most people are paying, just $15 a month. Learn more now at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
And now, stuff Dan finds interesting.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this Monday?
Well, as you two are well aware, I've had several brushes with death the last couple of years.
Yes, you certainly have.
And what it made me do, because my daughter Sadie Hayes, she's such a control freak, I actually put stuff in order.
Right. And we were just talking about that the other day. We need to do that as well.
Yeah, I now have a will. I now have paperwork that says this is what will need to be done, blah, 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 blah.
Which is a good thing.
Did you get that notarized?
Pretty interesting.
Your last will and testament?
Yes, actually. Not one, but two attorneys notarized it. Yeah. So that's all in there. But I was not aware of this when I made arrangements, because as you know, I wanted to be cremated, but have those remains turned into bath bombs and then distributed to various women around.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Got a
Sandra
list of
Bullock.
We're on it. We got this.
Governor Nome. I'm trying to remember the list.
Well, I just actually came across this article. There's a new thing now that is now legal in 6 states, composting.
Oh, really?
Human remains. Yeah, and they're talking to a woman named Michelle Scaff, who actually is a client of a place called Return Home, a Seattle-based human composting facility.
Oh, wow.
Yep. It's futuristic-looking vessels full of organic material like straw, alfalfa, sawdust, and they just kind of add you back to the pile.
Like that. I don't mind that.
Is this the thing that has a tree in it? So they plant this and a tree grows from it?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I saw one of those online. Where
I like that.
This thing just kind of turn you back into
composting.
soil compost.
Yeah.
This one has like a big root ball, and there's a
Which
little
I think
tree.
is really nice because then there's a tree to visit.
Yeah.
I think I like the tree better than the whole composting. Like
Well, the composting,
just
you
dumping
could
you in
plant
your
a tree,
yard.
You could plant whatever you want.
Yeah,
if you're a big fan of butternut squash, you could be turned into that.
It's interesting because I guess burials and cremations carry heavy environmental tolls.
Oh, really?
Burials require embalming bodies, toxic solutions, plus an indefinite use of land. Well, forever, basically.
Forever. Yep.
Yeah.
Grave sites. Cremations result in millions of tons of carbon dioxide emissions annually. In fact, over the past 15 years, this is interesting. The past 15 years in the U.S., rate of cremation has almost doubled. It's up to 57%.
No kidding.
Now. Yeah, it used to be pretty rare when
Yeah.
I was a kid. It's like
That's my plan. I prefer that.
I want my
sure.
remains scattered in the Black Hills, but I don't want to be cremated. Just want my remains scattered.
I'd happily do that for her. I just put John in the old wood chipper.
Use his leg at Crazy Horse.
There we go. Oh
Arm at
look!
Rushmore.
There's half a crock.
Oh, heck.
Should have stripped him down first.
Use his thigh at Crystal Cave.
Yep, at Recompose, another Seattle-based facility, 25% of pre-planning clients are between, and it's the younger generation.
Yeah.
The lion's share of people signing up for this are from like 20 to 40.
Okay, so
Years old.
let me get this straight. You're not cremated first.
No.
What are they doing? Literally running you through like a wood chipper?
No,
Processing you.
I don't know if they're just whipping the whole body on the pile or what. I would imagine there has to be some
There has
kind
to be
of
some sort
The
of a
one that I saw
takedown.
that had the root ball, it was a full body, and it was like folded in half with all the stuff around it. At least that's what it looked like in the image. I saw it in like a cartoon online, so I didn't see an actual body.
Huh.
But like the drawing on there, it was a big
Right, but
root ball.
composting is literally spreading it out all over the place.
I
And
don't
if it's not cremated first, I'm wondering what the process
Yeah, because how
is
long
there.
would it take for like an intact human body to just decompose?
Oh my gosh.
But
Well, I guess I don't know if it wasn't
we
embalmed
find
first.
remains all the time.
Yeah, but they're embalmed. So, well, yeah.
They find remains of people
Of
who've
people who've been
murdered.
murdered.
And killed
Yeah,
and
that's true.
buried
Gosh,
and
I don't
stuff.
know. That's a very I'm gonna have to check into that.
Yeah,
'cause
all it says
now
here-
I want to know the
Can
procedure.
you imagine some people today were just planning on going to work? They were just planning on taking a leisurely stroll to the office. And we're sticking this in their head.
Yeah.
Thanks,
now,
Dan.
Now I need to know the procedure. I'm curious.
And Dan's Googling it.
Well, it's just referred to as human composting, also called natural organic reduction.
Oh, wow.
Natural organic
We
reduction.
have to reach out and see if anyone around here does that.
Yeah.
Actually, the 6 states are Washington was first back in 2019, followed by Colorado, Oregon, Vermont, California, and New York. So the usual hippie suspects.
Okay.
Ha.
That's how that works. So, yeah, as far as
Fascinating.
the actual process goes, I guess I'm not entirely sure, but I'm probably going to take a pass.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
That's my thing. But I do appreciate you thinking of us, Dan. Thanks for sharing that.
Well, like I say, I found that interesting.
I can see why. I also found it interesting. Heidi?
I also found it interesting.
3 out of 3. Good job, Dan.
Hey, thanks, John and Heidi. I feel validated.
That's what it's all about. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
Do you ever get credit card offers in the mail? Those are usually the worst offers. They spend thousands of dollars mailing them to anyone with an address. The people who actually read their junk mail end up paying the price in the long run. At bettercreditcards.com, we offer a variety of credit card options to fit your needs. Whether you want a credit card to give you cash back or points and perks, or a credit card to help you build your credit, we probably have it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. bettercreditcards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, February 20th, 2023. Equity markets moved lower Friday to end an uncertain week on a down note. The market is wrestling with the true meaning of the latest inflation data, and the early analysis is not good. The pace of inflation is stabilizing at current levels, if not accelerating, which means the FOMC has yet to accomplish its goal. In this light, it may not be if the FOMC causes a recession, but when, because it may have to in the fight against inflation. This week will be another tough one for the market. The following PCE price index report is due out Friday and may echo the news in the CPI data. In this scenario, the odds of another 50 basis point interest rate hike will rise, and there is still another month of data to go before the next Fed meeting. The takeaway here is that inflation is still a problem. The FOMC is still raising interest rates, and the outlook for S&P 500 earnings is still in decline. Not much of a catalyst for the market to rally on. You can get the inside track at marketbeatminute.com.